Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mark's Backyard Birds. Today, a requested species profile and a very unique bird. It's really cool. If you follow the channel and you've searched through my videos, you know that I've done family focuses where I talk about groups of birds like the buntings and towhees and the differences in their widespread and where they are in the country, and also does species profiles on just in particular birds. Well, this is kind of serves as both because the bird today is the brown creeper, also known as the American tree creeper, which is the tree creeping group is the group that this bird is in. It is the only represented species from that group in North America. It is a unique bird. I've seen other tree creepers in Mexico. I've seen the Eurasian tree creeper when I was in England, and but in North America, here it is going to be the only one that you can find. And some of you may not be as familiar with this bird because it is not a regular feeder bird, and I think that most people think when they do see that, and where you're going to typically see this bird is clinging to the tree just like this and scooting up the tree. And look at the physical characteristics of this bird really makes it suited for that lifestyle. It has that long, stiff tail, which can use to help scoot. It scoots up the tree, and it typically goes up in a corkscrew pattern around the tree trunk. And that brilliant camouflage color, when it's up against a tree like that, and you don't really see the white belly when he's up against the tree, incredibly hard to see sometimes. If you don't catch it moving or flying over to the next tree, you might miss it. But that longer curved, decurved bill, they call it, down is great for probing into crevices in the bark. They eat a lot of little spiders and a lot of little eggs and things, insect eggs and other insects they can find in the bark crevices. And the thing that most people associate them with, but they really aren't even that closely related, are with the nuthatches. The little red-breasted nuthatch is a prime example. Look how much shorter the nuthatch tail is than the brown creeper was, and their bill is actually slightly upturned instead of down curved like the brown creeper is. And of course, nuthatches tend to go down the tree and probing into the top parts of a bark to look for insects and insect egg and things like that. So why they feed similarly is actually quite the opposite. Their bodies are built for two different lifestyles, taking advantage of going up and one taking advantage of going down. So they aren't in the same family, but they are. They're like their lifestyles would make you think that. Now, like I said, their pattern, their feeding pattern, when you see them, they do take short scoots up the tree, around and around and around. And then if you keep watching them, they will fly down to another tree low on the trunk and then start that corkscrew up the trunk again. That is, they do it over and over again. If you're looking out and you're watching them, they'll do this, and you watch them fly around to another tree. They always fly down, they go up. They don't go down like that nuthatch does. They are really widespread, especially in the winter months. This is a map from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and the darker purple area, the darker areas are kind of where they're year-round residents, and usually this is at higher elevations. And the lighter blue is where they move down, and they are in the uh, winter months. This is the winter, and you see here in Missouri. I'm right there in the middle of that map, and we only see them here in the winter months. They do not breed in our location. They really do, and I understand they nest up a lot of pine forest. They're mixed pine forest up to elevations of like 11,000 feet. So they can actually be found nesting quite high, and it's really cool. Their nest are shaped like hammocks. and they have two openings to them regularly. They have one on the lower side and one on the upper side. And the studies show that they actually use the lower side for entrance and the upper side for exiting out. And they're very hard. The nests were very hard to find. Their nests weren't discovered till later in the game in the naturalist world, because they tend to build their nest behind peeling bark. So between the trunk and the peeling bark of a tree, they build that nest down in there. So they are quite hard to find whenever you're trying to locate their nest like that. And so it took a while for scientists to realize what was going on. But and they only have one brood per year, and they nest, like I said, pretty up high in elevation. So the weather gets cold earlier in the fall. So one nesting is about all they can get in. When we see them is in the winter months, and when we don't typically see them at bird feeders, but they can be attracted to bird feeders. Kind of this picture a friend of mine took years ago, captured a brown creeper on a suet log that he had laying flat on his patio. This is a brown creeper with a downy woodpecker, and I think he has, like, this is actually a peanut butter and cornmeal mixture he has there, which is something high value for them. And but this is not at all common to see brown creepers feeding at a feeder station. Now, I've said before that I think that most people have had luck by simply taking suet and spreading it into the bark of a tree. This is a product that we carry called tree icing, and it's a softer suet. And you can actually spread it into the bark of a tree, hopefully on the side where you can actually see the tree. And a lot of times, if the creepers discover that suet there, then they'll take advantage of it. So that's one way you might have luck with them. Or if you're just really lucky, you might have them land on on your suet feeder or a peanut butter and cornmeal mixture, like Steve did in that picture there. So they're beautiful birds. And like I said, they're can be very, very hard to see whenever they're out there feeding. They scoot and they make those rounds, and they have a really high pitched call. And again, I use the Sibley's birding app that he has the songs in there, and the songs are from the Cornell Lab for Ornithology. But I want to play this for you so you can hear this high pitched call of theirs. And that's a lot of what I hear historically, that zzz sound up there at really high up. And as the older I get, my ears are not nearly as good as they used to be. It's getting hard to hear some of that frequency for me. But like I said, we don't get them in the nesting season. We see them all winter, but we'll see them into spring migration. With a lot of the warblers and things that are moving through, we'll see them at that time of year. They will be singing a little bit more then, but for the most part, we only get to see them out here in the heart of the country at the lower elevations and those winter months. So the brown creeper, actually a fascinating little bird. Remember, it's the only member of that whole family that's in North America. So it's a bird worth learning about. So thanks for that idea for a program. If you like the program, please give us a like, give us a share. If you're on YouTube, of course, do make sure you ring the bell so you know when you're notified when I'm going to be on next. Thanks so much, and have a great day.